We're back.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Go
we're
on,
back.
go on,
We're
have a
back,
go. You give it a go.
Hello, guys.
Dan.
We're back. We're watching Astralis. And unfortunately, Avangar, after a fantastic start to Overpass, their pick, obviously they're quite adept at their pick, they fell short. They just didn't have the staying power, Henry.
That was beautiful, Dan.
Unforced errors.
Unforced errors, absolutely. It was a great game to watch. Unfortunately, that's fallen over. I just put that back together. That's a shame. Yeah, unfortunately, Astralis did come back, and we have got Inferno next. Thank you so much, James. I've got a couple of questions coming in, guys. You interested in some questions?
Yeah, man.
Perhaps you want to get some done? They're mostly focused on me. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
Okay, we've got one here from a young Canadian fan called Mike Bennick, I believe. He says, when you were younger, Henry G, did you feel like a man trapped inside a woman's body? Now, I feel like this might be a classic case of deflection, perhaps, and he's trying to ask a question on his own behalf and try to get some advice.
Yep.
I just wanted to say that my DMs are always open if you do have any struggles or any questions like that. Yes, I have got experience, and you're more than welcome to chat, and maybe this isn't the right platform to really have a discussion, but I wish you all the best, and any problems you can hopefully overcome in the next few days. And we'll chat to you in due course. So that's one dealt with. And we've got another couple of ones here. This is for James Bardolph. Why didn't we see CS Office played by the pros? Also, why did my girlfriend leave me?
Why did your girlfriend leave you? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know you. So maybe it's for the best. Let's just assume it's for the best and just move on from that.
That's good
Why don't
advice.
the pros
That's
play
good advice,
CS Office? I think the problem with hostage maps in pro competitive play is that you're incentivized in most cases to camp if you're on a T side. So that could be very repetitive. I thoroughly enjoy Office. It's one of my favorite maps for sure. I like having fun there. I like playing against the Office globals. And showing
Me
them
too.
what a
I
real
actually
Office
do that
global looks like.
a lot. Because they are a very special breed of Counter-Strike player, aren't they? The guys
Yeah.
are just Q Office. They're very
They just
salty,
drill one
very
map.
strange.
Wait, I didn't realize that's the thing.
That is the
Office
thing.
Globals.
There's
Office
Tell me
Globals.
about
there's a
this.
group on
They
Steam
only-
called Office Globals.
They only queue matchmaking for Office. I always chuck it in my matchmaking when I play it, just in case it goes there. It's just very interesting that the human mind and how it works and why these guys focus on playing that map, because you can just grind it and win because it's a really ratty map. You sit there on the T side, dropping smoke after smoke after smoke and Molotovs, and they love talking.
So I was saying, what do you
trash.
do? Do you just do a podcast there or something? Like, what, just chat? whilst
Just
the smoke's
hang out
down?
for a minute until all the smokes are gone. They sit in
Then
the
what?
projector room holding their hostages, and they win games and get global. That's it.
Yeah.
One final question, a proper one. What is the name of the artist that has made the paintings behind you guys? That is done by Wheezy. He is an awesome artist, and he provides all of this stuff. He does an amazing job. Check him out at Wheezy, WHEEZY_T, and his artwork's available. It's awesome. He sent this to us, and I think it's awesome. I'm going to try and get some for my own home as well.
It's really nice.
It is really good. Nice.
Very, very well done.
Lovely stuff.
Very well done.
So, map number 2 coming
I
up.
know where he lives.
Where is it?
I'm not
UK,
going to say
right?
on here.
Well, he's British, right? I think.
Yeah.
That'd be doxing. Don't want any of that.
That's what I meant, what countries.
I mean, would it be? Like, he gave me his address because we posted him some stuff. So technically, it's not doxing, although we shouldn't be revealing people's personal information
Yes.
on the
I
broadcast.
didn't mean his street. I just meant
Would
he's
it
from
be,
UK.
would it be classed as, if we just like said his address now, would it be classed as doxing?
I
think-
just
I
don't
think
think
so,
it'd be-
yeah.
it wouldn't be a good idea in general, so maybe don't do that.
The Face It finals we did in the office,
Mm.
we got DDoSed, and the person who DDoSed us got doxed by like all of HLTV forums, basically.
Wow.
And his address was put everywhere. He got wrecked. Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah,
for him.
the internet is a strange and fascinating place, isn't it? The things that will be done on there. Anyway, shall we go on to map number 2? It is going to be
Yeah.
Inferno. Potentially the last map of this series. I'd say almost certainly going to be. Astralis are pretty untouchable on Inferno. Another map, as I mentioned on Overpass, they innovated how it should be played on certain sides, especially the T side of executions towards B. I felt their CT side is pretty reminiscent of how every team plays the CT side, especially towards Banana. They started off the entire approach of double Molotoving, smoke down the bottom, HE logs, and they really kind of destroyed any T approach for a long time until other teams caught up with it. Now I see every single team do that, but not quite in the same destructive manner and so efficiently as Astralis. I love watching them play it, and some people think it's boring, but I think it's beautiful. It's almost poetic watching them play Inferno, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the bar. It's the standard.
It's exactly that.
It's down to other people to meet it or find a way around it.
Not
or
many
break
people
it.
can.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I'm so interested to see how long this will go on for. When are they going to be top
I
of?
think it's good to have a dominant champion.
Yes, I
You
agree.
know, being a wrestling nerd, like it is generally good, as long as it's not forced down your throat. But you know, it's generally good to have like a dominant champion for an extended period of time who just like, this is the landscape.
I agree.
And I am your ruler. It's good.
Absolutely agree. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time that like it can only mean like that people are just like, oh, I want it to be competitive. And it's like, well, it will rise to that point because we only have like when we think about stuff, we only think about the now, and a year is actually in the whole like scope of Counter-Strike, a year is actually not a very long time. That's how long Astralis has been on the top. Will they make it 2 years, 3 years? Okay, well then that's a long time, relatively speaking, for for all of the history of Counter-Strike. But still, it's kind of a short time, and a lot changes in that time. And the bar only stands to raise. They raised the bar, and people will hopefully get closer and closer to that. Imagine if we have, let's say, in the top 8, 4 to 5 teams that are as good as Astralis. Now that's going to be phenomenal to watch.
If I had to ask you, out of all the teams available right now, who will be the next heir to the throne? Who do you think has the potential to actually do it? I'm not sure Liquid's that team right now.
I think people look towards MIBR. They definitely, I think in terms of, if you look at each individual player and how the culture of the game and how they think about the game, I think that they are a team you can choose. Maybe when it comes down to it, and it comes down to the narrow decisions to win or lose a game, they haven't always been on the right side of those of late. But with their new roster, I think a lot of people will look towards them.
They match up the best to Astralis as well. But we can go back to that a bit later. We are in the pistol right here. Avangar, we've moved on to Inferno. The expectation here is that we'll see a dominant performance from Astralis. Let's see if that's how it starts off. Perhaps it does. Great connection with the HE grenade there from Glaive, finding Key Kurtz. And here comes the push. They've got to get the headshots here. Device and Dupree are tagged up, but the smokes are dropped.
Got a lovely advantage. Glaive, good for the 1 kill. Teammate still boots up for the time being. Another kill, looking for a third. Marvelous stuff from Dupree. Ooh. And that is a quite well-held B bomb site with 3 plays from Astralis. Thank you, good night. Pistol is mine.
Yeah, no plants, and it's Glaive. I love the double stack towards CT spawn. That grenade is pretty remarkable as well. So Glaive, he gets one right, but he survives and takes all the aggro away there as soon as area is clear because the CT spawn player has fallen back. But of course, Dupree boosted up and happy to stay up there. He's hitting every single shot right now, and he does fantastic work. 3 for him, no force buy in the second. Kick out with the Zeus on the T side. You don't actually see that too often. Considered more of a CT sort of approach, but we'll see if he can make it work. This Device taken down to 21 HP at the start of the round, and oh, there's the Zeus. That doesn't connect, but the Deagle certainly does.
It's kind of awesome because it's almost as though his body exploded in electricity as he got shot in the face. It's kind of cool.
That's what you look for?
Yeah. You know what? I would like
Mortal Kombat, mate.
I would like
Raiden.
I miss those 1.6 death animations where
I agree with that.
So impactful. And I think that when you get hit by an AWP, I want to see the bodies just like flying backwards.
I definitely agree. I feel like that should be brought back. The high-flying models, when you get the headshot, I don't care how ridiculous it looks, send them 6 feet in the air. That's crazy. That was so much fun.
I want my people to explode on impact.
You
bust.
Of course you do.
I'd say like one way which you could do it, which would be amazing, is proportional to the damage that's done and the type of like caliber of the gun or whatever. It can have like a reaction. So if you do like an AWP headshot, that's going to have massive like knockback potential, or like a headshot with a Deagle, massive
creates a small black hole.
But
which
if it's a
sucks
Glock,
in a chicken if there's 1 in 5 meters of distance.
Now that's an idea. This is why you should be on the dev team.
Collapsing star.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll get
30 seconds.
Yeah,
and
let's get back to this. Let's do that.
Astralis will drop a smoke through the choke point. This is causing issues for Avangar. And it seems they will choose to wait it out versus Certain Doom going through the smoke. However, this buys time for Astralis to rotate multiple players, and Buster will creep through anyway, so they might as well have just gone in earlier. Unless they're expecting to catch these players off guard. That won't happen. Easy cleanup for Astralis. 2-0 for the heroes from Denmark.
But the force buy comes in now. Full eco in the second round enables them to get the AKs out. But as you can see, they're not exactly fully equipped. AK armor and a few smokes. It's not ideal, but Astralis will have Glaive on the UMP. Same story for Zipex as well. And as we talked about, that banana control is what it's all about. They're going to send only the 2 players there at the beginning of this round. Dupree waiting for the flashbang. And here it comes. The grenade, the smoke's down, and the damage done. So stifling. Even that 1 HE is so effective. That's 1 HE that's done that much damage towards Buster. And right in his pocket. And Sanji will be trying to deploy a contact position towards the apartments here. He does spot one, unless he gets the kill. It doesn't do much for him, as he can't progress much further. Device certainly can, though. Takes down Crizzen, hold strong towards the quad side now, and James trying to react, and his teammates are isolated behind the smoke.
Oh, they try to push him. Interesting move there from Magisk, and the trades will fall favorably for Avangar, but overall, they're not looking in good shape whatsoever. The HP is a huge consideration, and they've got a minute left, so they're actually on quite a fast pace, all things considered, if you compare to their overpass T side, and they have one smoke as well. So they don't really have the ability to take 1v1s very well, and they don't have the utility to mitigate the fact that they have such low HP. So right now they look like they're in terrible shape, and there's crossfires here for the Astralis defenders on the A-bomb site, which should handily deal with pretty much anything coming their way.
35 seconds. One smoke, one flash, and with these UMPs and the AUG, I just don't see a world where Avangar can pull this one off. This first kill comes into Ziphex, they're in business, but it's going to be Dupree, double frag, nice crossfire, bomb down, and Kikert, 4 HP, has to find a perfect headshot, not going to happen, and Dupree, he looks so sharp today. Stunning stuff from him, 6-0. As we get into round number 4, has to be the eco for the T side with no plants once again. Good approach, and the reason they just have to go with those contact plays is they just don't really have the resources there. They know they're up against potential SMGs and a lot of these choke points. So face check with the AK, hope you can win the duel and pounce upon those opportunities, but did not work out for them. As they home in on maximum loss bonus next round with the new money system you get at the 4th stage after losing the pistol. They can afford a bit of investment here with the CZs and armor, and Dupree is a classic move from him. Faces second middle, gets a pick. No damage taken. Job done.
All right then, Avangar may spend some time waiting out the initial grenades for Astralis. Trying to get the most out of a situation where they have the least. Vice not shy to peek the mid position. He's got his teammate for a double pick crossfire. Glaive clearing the underpass position. They will continue. Again, their choke point in Boiler has been dealt with, so James can do nothing about this. He does not have position with which to pounce. CZ will get nothing done. That leaves Kika alone with a CZ. Wanted to push Boiler forever, but he has been denied, and Dupree is expectant. Sees nothing through the gap. Out he comes. Out he goes.
Clean sweep from Astralis. It's them with a decent start this time. It was Avangar that won the pistol and overpass and managed to build up a massive amount of rounds and win out the half, a 9-6 on their T side. Haven't had the same fortune here in the all-important map. Astralis on their pick of Inferno. Very clean stuff so far. Money not as strong as you would think. They have taken some casualties along the way. The AWP device comes out, and we'll see where he heads. It's towards B. He's got a decent spawn. He might just commit towards the half wall, but going to be part of the utility barrage at the very start. Smoker T-steps is exactly what we're talking about. There's no way you can get through unless you want to expend a lot of your own utility trying to battle it. That allows the Ts, or the CTs I should say, to build up some time, get control, and ideally get device at the barrels where he can hold the position alone. Not quite feeling it just yet. He was going to see if anyone wants to challenge from the logs itself. Is there any kill available to him? It's a difficult shot. As the smoke goes down, Sendry to follow it up. He's going to nail this, but it's actually Buster. And we'll take him down. 4-4.
Not bad. Repeat comes in from Glaive, and he's going to finish things off here. Kika, the weekend player. James doesn't let him escape, though. And with that opportunity, because now there's no one blocking the B-bomb side, the bomb needs to be picked up. It's very far away, but as far as Astralis can understand, they would likely expect the bomb to be in a position to be planted here. So Magisk will be heard stepping there by Sanji, and this is quite a strange predicament because Sanji has two options. Does he try to go for the backstab, or does he go straight to Way? Well, there's a free kill. Now he can go to Way, and Dupree's starting to wonder, because he could still go back to B. This is such a difficult spot, and James will punish Dupree for searching for some information. What a... That is one of those spots where the bomb gets left, and somehow it actually pays off. Like, you could never expect it to work out like that.
Well, that's a big round for Avangar to pick up. We did say the money was getting to breaking point for Astralis in the previous round. They'll bring together whatever they can with UMPs, a CZ there, 3 rifles still. They have the majority of the utility. They're focusing on that. Inferno, CT side, that's what it's all about. Delaying the Ts, making them uncomfortable, forcing them into situations where they might not necessarily be able to trade you out. As the smokes go down once again towards the T-steps. Same maneuvers here as they try to get a little bit further this time. Glaive denying any sort of access at the start of the round, showing he has the rifle. Bit of damage considerable towards Kicker with the follow-up nade as well. And this is so good from them. You can see there's no option for the T but to sit back and wait for this smoke to go down.
Not much left in the hole for Avangar in terms of utility. 2 smokes, a few flashes. More flashes than they had in the previous round where they were playing contact up the short position. James with Crizzen for support, clearing the short area in its entirety. Some warning shots there from James. Astralis moving off of Banana now. Seems to have a hard read. It's going to be A, leaving no one on B whatsoever. 5 versus 5 on the A bomb site. A hard read on Avangar. But again, haven't really had a lot of lurkers on their T side from what we've seen so far. And now we've got James running back. Oh, for a grenade rather than to show presence. Although with the time ticking, Astralis starting to wonder. There's a brave man who 5-man stacks in a 5 versus 5 with both teams on a bye. So I'll go back, smoke Banana. So maybe the waiting from Avangar will work out. But there's so little time on the clock. 18 seconds as Magic gets picked off.
Ooh. Not bad the way they took that bomb side. And they're going to survive with 5 players, it would seem, because Astralis are going to go for the save. And Avangar are actually in a position where I would say that they are somewhat encouraged to try to take a conservative hunt towards the B-bomb side. That said, they shouldn't feel compelled to, because Ipex and Glaive will... Astralis should go for a force around those 2 guns.
If anything, you want them to force. If you're Avangar right now, you want them to save what they have, and you want to bait them into a force buy. That's how you can really put your foot on the throats, as if they lose everything, they might take a full eco here. But if you, they're almost certainly going to force into it, and then you can really bait them into destroying their own finances. If you've got 5 alive, which is the case after the bomb explodes, Avangar with 2 on the bounce. It's a UMP and an M4 save, then yes, Astralis almost certainly buy into this. Don't have to, but I would suggest they probably would. We'll have a look. 1900. They do get 2400 into the next round, but here come the shotguns. The CZs, they're going to give it everything they've got.
I think the timing, Avangar's timing is throwing Astralis off. I think Astralis are used to, like, surely if they haven't pushed A by this time, maybe they've sent a scout into B, making them rotate off. But again, we'll have to see if Astralis can adjust as time continues. Still very early on in this game of Inferno. Love some Max 7 action. Maybe it'll find some, maybe it won't. Seems that it won't.
They've picked up the pace a little bit, Avangar, haven't they? Running around the map, finding every single headshot available to them, and it looks like a clean sweep's coming in. That wasn't necessarily the force buy. Yes, they invested a lot, but Device and a few others left themselves about $1,000 on top of the 2,400 they'll get here. So yes, it will be another eco, but one they can bring maybe P250s out, maybe Deagles if they're feeling a little bit spicier, but they'll get 2,900 each into the next round. So a little bit of investment might be applicable. We'll see. 2 Deagles, 2 P250s, that's about it. We've seen them win plenty of rounds around this sort of buy. We'll see what happens here. Avangar need to be very careful. Let's move him from James to get quickly up towards the top of the middle. Zipex to defend with the P250. Obviously can't justify a push down Banana anymore. So B control granted to Avangar if they want it.
It's always scary when you play rounds like this. We saw Avangar find a way to win a round like this, and when they were on Astralis' position in their shoes on the first map. I like that they were walking balcony, actually. The quick flash, it's very simple. Oh, but maybe it's gone a little bit wrong here. Another one from Magis. Now it starts to get rather troubling. Device still left with that P250. He's not being spotted. A free kill goes the way of Astralis. Looking to pick up the gun. A second headshot now. Down to Kiko. 1 HP. There's no way. Surely no way. He finds the finishing shots onto Device. And the smoke to Moto. Quick flashbang as well to... Oh, it's a terrible smoke. It's absolutely terrible, Henry.
Yes, but still, they don't know he's 1 HP. They might be aware he's damaged, but they're not going to be as confident as you'd think. A PT-50 and a Deagle. KitKat does have some time here. Gets himself towards the graveyard. And the CTs wait for the plant. They know they've got him trapped in. Not really much can be done in that sense. They want to make sure they challenge him together. They can't give him 2 solo duels. There's the first. The swing should come from the balcony now. They're being very patient. They want to run the timer down. They know he's not on the side just yet. There it is. The round works out. 2 Deagles, 2 P250s, no armor, and they chose the tightest possible choke point on the map.
I was wondering about that.
So you can see
choke point to burst out with his knife out, no less.
There was no smoke down. There was no Molotovs to clear the pit. They literally did 1 flash and went for it. I really don't like that approach. I think that's just a nightmare. If you run into a CZ at that range, it's going to beat you every single time.
It didn't even seem like he had his gun out, the first guy as well, as if he was just trying to make a play, maybe to draw crosshairs away or so on.
Exactly.
But you can do more than that versus pistols with a full buy-in utility.
Anything
that's what Molotovs are for.
Yeah, that's you cannot present that sort of approach with Astralis. They're so good in the pistols. They'll squeeze out whatever they can from very little. And there's that incendiary grenade combo again. Zipex and Glaive are just the masters of this position.
I like the Krieg for that position because of the scope. I feel like does help a lot in going into the A-bomb site from the balcony. But we'll see if people end up going through balcony. James looking to punish any CTs looking to peek, but you can see with the 5 versus 4, Astralis is playing very defensively. They've got a perfect setup. Device has options to delay should Avangar pressure and show that they have intent towards the B-bomb site. That will cause a rotation from Zipex, from Arch, all the way through Speedway back to assist the Device, who again can buy time, but otherwise they get to set up 4 on A. Now this is important. Unfortunately, there's no flashbang. Oh my god, that is brave. No flashbang. They had flashes, I believe. And you're challenging Device just with a raw peek.
It's back and forth we go, just Crizzen. And he's doing a great job of making this round expensive. He does have the bomb, but he has to go for a defensive plan. Exactly what he's going to do. That's not quite going to come in, but he has baited out Glaive. This could actually all fall apart. 1 versus 1 now. Time to plant, and it's going to be Device edging his way towards the quad position, and Crizzen seems to be aware of it. Drops the incendiary. I think he's done it, but not quite. Heartbreaking for Avangar there. Crizzen did such good work. I really feel for him, and now Device is enjoying himself a little bit. It's like, nice try, kid. But you're not going to take Device down. You're just going to be letting him stew over it for a second. And there it is. The defuse comes in. Amazing effort, though. 4 kills. Would have been an ace clutch.
Yeah, just such an unusual fashion, too. But it is not. It's the first one. Just able to get those first bullet connections. That's what makes a difference.
That's crazy, though, if you think about it. 5 versus 2. Probably Astralis assuming that a save is happening. Not expecting a guy to be looking to make a play there, because surely there's no way he can do it. And it went down to 1 versus 1 from a 5 versus 2.
With PT50, he still had full health as well. That was touch and go.
And that was like a full spray also.
Yeah.
And Crizzen wasn't that tagged. He had like 80 HP or something. Yeah. Goodbye.
They're hitting shots, aren't they? Great job. I don't think we're anticipating the orb there.
The issue is that there's deep banana control for Astralis. Now, at this time in the round, if you take top middle, if you slow things down, you should really challenge that. Just pop flash through with a couple of players. But they're actually just going for it. They're just going for it. And, well, it's happening as well. They're hitting every single shot. First bullet is like 100% accurate, it seems, so far.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's a complete change of pace from Avangar. Complete change of pace. And I think Magic's going through the smoke again is another example of Avangar's timing being kind of off-key for Astralis to deal with and causing them a lot more problems than they would necessarily have versus a European team they go up against more often. Expecting a save, for example, going down to a 1v1. And now that's cost Astralis a lot of money. 2 rounds in a row, they've lost 4 players. This time they'll lose the round itself. So there's a lot of potential here for Avangar. They can keep catching Astralis off guard with their quirky timings. Everyone surviving for Avangar. Much needed money on their side, so they can keep the pressure up regardless for Astralis. We'll see what the latter choose to do in this situation. Nice shot from James. Crizzen's been very active around his position.
He's feeling it on Inferno, isn't he? they're going to buy shotguns, CZ, and M4s. Not the most grenades available to them. Really impressive Chrism what he's bringing to the table the last couple of rounds. So he didn't win that one before in that 1 versus 4 situation. The fact he got all those kills has led them here. There would have been a pretty decent buy for Astralis had it been a clean round, and this is a great setup. Sanji's got this kill, no problem. That's an opening kill, and now you can just sit back. You do not have to jump on the opportunity. You're going to see what the reaction is, bait those grenades out, and bleed out whatever the CTs have here. And he's maybe just trying to get that shotgun. Is that what Device had? Maybe it was Dupree that already had it. So nothing to pick up.
They are hitting these shots very. That's the thing with the AK-47. If you land the first bullet, it just really changes the dynamic of the fights, obviously. Because if the M4 lands first bullet as well, or the AUG, well, that means you just win the fight.
Wow.
AK only needs 1 bullet. Dupree, though, makes some money with the Mag 7 in the apartments, but we'll be surprised if he gets too much more. The T's now have free passage to that B bomb site for the plant, and they don't have to risk any more losses unless they want to try to punish Astralis for going for the save. And Christen's in position for that. He might find the back of 1 if he's quick enough. That's not a good look for Dupree. Now just Magis lurking around. 2 kills, 8 deaths. Not quite finding the form that he had yesterday.
You're absolutely right there. Magis. Not really much can be done at this point. Avangar have put up a decent fight today. If you're just joining us, Overpass is where it all kicked off. 16-14. Astralis got through by the skin of their teeth. And right now, the individual skill of Avangar really is shining bright. They are looking likely to tie things up 6-6 here. There's nothing really available for Astralis. Averaging around 2.5k per player, a little bit less than that. Just Dupree with 3,400, so he can maybe get a deagle. The rest of them can't really invest at all. So, round 12, I think there's a single dollar spent. 5 players towards B. Just gotta hope it's a rush from Avangar. Oh, this is the tank.
Is that a technical term?
It's the tank. Set up. I'm ready to... I've so many people are doing this in Face It right now.
It's the motorcade with cheerleaders on.
Yeah, it does actually work. I've walked into that sack a couple of times. It's not fun.
Got to use a flashbang, Henry.
I do, but there's still 5 people ready to go. And
Flash
they just
over
spam.
the roof.
You make it sound like I know it's there and I'm aware. Like I know, right, the tank's there, guys. Gotta
Safety
flash
first,
it.
Henry. Safety
Gotta
first.
flash that. And
Get a
then
flash
in.
going.
That tells them you're coming, though. I like to surprise them. Get stuck in.
Honestly, the team doing it on buy rounds.
With how many players?
3.
5?
3 players.
If you get flashed, Bardolph will kill you.
Every time.
People love to pick that in pugs though without a flash and just get shot by an AWP. All the time. The concept of flashing for each other in pugs is an alien one to most.
I was wondering, you know, like Apex Legends with the pinging system. I was thinking to myself, like, it'd be so cool if you could ping. Like, let's say, like, I'm pushing on T side, I'm pushing white box something on cache. It'd be so cool if I could like just ping a flash, like just like look at the wall beyond the white box and like ping a flash there, and then a teammate knows you should flash that or something. Because it's so hard to explain to people how, like, where and when to throw flashes sometimes.
I would say in Europe it could be because of the language barrier. Even if people can speak English, if it's not their first language, it can be hard. But in North America, people should. It should be easy enough. It's a human problem, not a language problem.
He's dead.
That's why you have flashbangs and Molotovs. You see, just need that on overpass, on short B. There are 3 kills to be had. What are you expecting with the peak? The jerk forward is punished, and there is nothing behind it for Avangar. They slowly, quietly move back towards the A-bomb site, where 1 player awaits in the apartments, and it will be another dry peek with the gun poking out first. More info early for Astralis. Manages to fall off. He's alive for now. Dupree's got to get multi-frags. Almost running out of bullets. He'll get traded eventually, but has he done enough? Sanji alone now, 1 versus 2, 1 versus 1 for the time being, as one is on the B bomb site, wants to flash above the roof, maybe to peek top mid, but he'll go for the plants instead. Zipex holding angles on short. He knows that Sanji hasn't made his way to the pit, waiting for Device to rotate in the meantime with this information. So it could be site graveyard or towards the arch position. That's a lot of information for Astralis. Peeking wide is Zipex, and there is a kill for him. Astralis in the lead once again.
Absolutely are. Difficult round for them though. Back and forth once again. The bombs planted. Avangar are going to have plenty of cash going forward. 10k on James, and similar story for Buster and Sanji as well. So round 14, Astralis have a pretty incredible T side, so don't let the scoreline let you worry for them at all. It's a double orb setup, Device and Glaive. They kind of mix up that secondary orb responsibility between Glaive and Dupree. Glaive heading towards the A side. I assume it will be Device who will be challenging at B. We will see. It's Dupree that will be playing them off for him. Incendiary down towards T steps to try and block anyone getting towards the underpass. And aggression once again as he looks towards the T steps. This time punishing James. It's been a pretty interesting battle between those two. James hit some lovely shots, but that's not bad at all from Device. And now, ideally, you do want to forward player back towards A with the 5 and 4. I guess you don't necessarily have to. It will be Zipex to fall back and indeed go back towards A. If you've got the AWP established there and they're not even throwing any smokes, that can be fantastic. But so can this. All of a sudden, there's 2 kills for Avangar. Down to the 3 on 3. Oh, Mages, though. He is the Prince of Pit. We've had the King of Banana before, Dan, but this guy is something quite special.
Princely. However, it will all even up. Buster with the kill onto Zipex. With a minute to go as well, there's so many options here. This becomes a nightmare for the CTs because the Ts can just go absolutely anywhere at this point, and it's just you're hard pressed to understand exactly where that could be. Could try to go for risky plays forwards, but you can see, oh, that's a great adjustment there. No trade coming in as well from Keycut. But I was going to say that to go for the information is quite risky because the Ts can be waiting in specific off angles to punish that. However, Device adjusting marvelously well, and now the CTs with a big advantage. Already Device in position with the AWP. Keycut goes straight into his crosshairs, and Device locks it down. 3k for him, and that's 8-6 for Astralis.
Absolutely true. Avangar have enough to buy here at the end of the round, but it's Device sending them packing in round 14. Really great stuff from him. Lovely shots, so dynamic and mobile. As he starts off a beat, closes it out towards middle on the arch side, and James will bring out the AWP once again, and they've been trading blows round after round. Who will come out on top here? It's going to be James to challenge middle once more. Takes a nade right down the throat. He's at 41 HP, but it's not going to push him back. He's still confident to go for this one. Another grenade comes in, luckily not in his direction, but he does run towards it. Still at 41 as he gets the hell out of danger.
That's a big headshot. You hear the footsteps from Zipex. It gives him a lot of positional information. They has a second player with him, so they could try to do something, but support has come in the name of Device. CT's a T-smoke towards CT, inviting some counter grenades from Astralis, who will throw nothing. They will show nothing. All 4 players holding onto their smoke grenades. They know better than this. 1 minute on the clock, and there could be a lot of delay here for Avangar in the late game, as Astralis seem to have a read of their timing. There's a smoke towards apartments. 3 more smoke grenades for Astralis, 2 of which are towards B, where Avangar actually have a lurker. But again, these dry peaks not really being favourable. Trying to run past the angle, but Device is fast enough. Magic with a gimmick smoke. He can stand on the bicycle to look over it. And they're still to be deployed by Zipex eventually towards the B bomb site if necessary. So, I mean, Avangar still haven't committed to something. So if they chose to go back towards B, it would be a disaster. It has to be A for them.
Strong flash from Mages. Yields a frag. That's the AWP going down, but only good for 1. Device, though, perfectly positioned to follow it up, and Dupree, he will cost them a lot of time. 10 seconds remaining now, 3 versus 1. Yes, the kill comes in, but Sanji has to plant, not before taking Device with him. That bomb will be planted, no problem. It's up to Zipex now to try and close out the 1 versus 1. Sanji, 100 HP with a flashbang. Zipex has nothing to work with apart from his AUG and his massive brain. We'll see what he can do with that.
Now, this is a fairly typical response that Sanji is making here. It's a very strong position, even if your opponent knows about it. It's still difficult to deal with it without utility, and we don't see any utility on Zipex. He does have a kit for Sanji. All he has to do, he can even try to spam this through the wall if he wants, but look how strong that position is. There's just nothing you can do. Outplayed Sanji with a brilliant triple kill there to secure the final round of the first half, and that gives Avangar a solid fighting chance should they win the pistol.
It's a great half once again. We split it right down the middle at 8-7. How will this one conclude? Who knows? You'll have to find out after this break.
The eye colours.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half between Astralis and Avangar. Can Astralis finish it right here, right now? Finish it 2-0. Time will tell. And I have to say, Avangar's fragging individual skill is off the charts right now. They are going toe-to-toe with the world's best, and they're keeping themselves afloat. It's been impressive.
What do they do between map 1 and map 2, Henry? Do they eat some chocolate bars or something? That blood sugar levels on a high.
Right now, it's working out. Whatever they've done, it's a 4 versus 3. And he's got the CZ in the palm. It's such a strong weapon, but you have to find a quick kill, and you'll be punished. The knife comes out. Zipex is low, but he will pick up the CZ now. 3 versus 3 with Dupree. Flashed out. Fumbles are moving slightly, but he won't be punished for it. They have control of the A site if they move quickly here. Oh, what the hell?
That's a bit dirty, isn't it? Catches Krisen moving across the moto. Out the smoke they'll go. And now down to Dupree again, but Buster once again is doing some damage here as Glaive comes in from the apartments now looking for... Okay, well, Buster, he's decided that it's over. It's over. 4 kills for him in the pistol round of Avangar, starting off with a statement in the second half.
His last name is the same as Hobbit's, isn't it? Telepov?
I don't know.
I think it's the same last name. Anyway, here we are, Avangar again. It's been interesting this series so far because I feel like there are a few fixes they could make and they would win a lot more games.
Our odds there updated from pinnacle.com, sponsor of ECS, and you can see it's still Astralis the heavy favorites, but maybe the gap will close. Krisen, MP9 in hand, and this is the eco from Astralis, just a note. So this is one of the rounds where it's Astralis trying to get anything they can. A kill or 2 would be fantastic. There's the first. They're probably not going to get a plant, but they get AKs next. So every kill gets them another $300 on top of what they would have had. James will be taking Dupree down. Just Majors going to be dropped as well. So 2-0 comes in. Can they make it 3? If they do, could lead to 4. AK is coming out. Enough for a few smokes and Molotovs here. See if Astralis can tie things up at 9-9. You can see Avangar with 2 MP9s. I expect something a little bit more aggressive with the 3 MP9s, maybe stacking towards apartments. Go for some aggressive B control. We'll have a look. The guys are going to send 3 players towards the arch. Is there a triple net down towards the bottom? A double. Considerable damage, to be fair. Softens them up, and those Molotovs are actually doing a lot of damage. May just needs to be very careful. This is great. Taking a lead out of the Astralis book. So far, so good for Avangar. They have B control, and they're looking comfortable. Another nade goes in. That's going to do more damage.
Beautiful. The late grenades. They thought the exchange was over, but it's not.
Just begun.
And again, these things can be very costly. Glaven device, heavily maimed. Taking selfies at the zoo, attacked by a Jaguar. Alive for now, though.
Dupree walking into the A-bomb site. Well, that's not gone well for Glaive. Wide peak, not really faring all that well either. Buster's knocking them all down, but Dupree can still unlock this round. It's 2 versus 5, but his position's quite forward, looking for a backstab. No backstab to be had because the entire CT forces, 4 of them were on the B-bomb site. Dupree could have actually opened up that A-bomb site should he have tried to go in towards the site itself, but he, how is he to know that?
There are still 4 smoke grenades, or 3 smoke grenades. Now they've just deployed one towards B on this CT team, moving towards the A-bomb site, and maybe there'll be problems now. Will they check for Krisen? He hasn't really revealed his position, given no cues away or anything. Spots a bomb player there, and there's the last guy in pit. He can just dance around double stack now, wait for rotation to come in, drop a Molotov. And quickly this will become a worse and worse situation for Dupree. He kind of needs to die on his sword here, because surely they're going to come for him. He doesn't have much place to hide, but he can make it expensive for Avangar at the same time. So they have their own lives to consider. Kika peeks out, pops out, peeks and pops out. There we go. And it's 10-8 for Avangar.
That's such a huge round for them to win. Remember, they came in with, what, 3 MP9s and 2 AUGs. You win that round, that's what I call the new bonus round. Round number 3, you've still got residual SMGs coming into it. If you can win that one against the AKs, you're in such a fantastic position. And now, like I said, probably leads to 4-0 because it's only pistols and a bit of armor here. 10-8 as the kill not coming in, but the tag does. It should be Sanji to open things up here, but maybe a little bit too aggressive now. And Buster really focused on getting that kill back. He knows Xyp9x is at the half wall, but needs to be careful. And backup comes through, and this should lead to a couple of kills, actually, and indeed it does. DAY2 trying to back his teammate up, and it leads to his demise as they will answer back, but round is pretty much done here. Magus with 17 HP, no armor, Deagle in hand. Slow game by his standards, 6 and 15. Normally one of the absolute shining stars in Inferno. He knows that James is in towards the cubby. I don't think he hits his shot though. It had to be the 1 dig there. Smoke goes down. James can knife out and move position. Waits for the spam. And actually feels comfortable just to hold put. Now he will go back towards the library. And he has avoided death. He just gets the AK, but I don't think he'll be doing too much with it. Here we go. We've got a game on our hands.
He's dead. We do have a game on our hands. The Avangar have won every round of this half so far, but Astralis are already at maximum loss bonus thanks to that. Give to receive. Give rounds, receive. High loss bonus.
I'll remember Astralis, one of the scariest T-side teams on this map. Rough start for them, but they had a 4-0 start in the first half. Being given equal treatment here. Really getting a taste of their own medicine towards B. Relentless utility bombardment towards the bottom. You can see them trying to avoid it, and yeah, they really aren't enjoying this too much. Another HE kill at the very start.
Avangar have timings all of their own, and they're not used to them. Dupree taking a risk, going out on the balcony, getting a free kill towards that short position. Maybe with a read of extra men sent towards B bomb site, there'd be a hole. He found a hole. Now he finds himself in the pit. Crizzen moving onto the site, but he needs help, and he needs it quickly. Sanji moving through towards the arch position. There is a player wrapping from the top of mid towards the A bomb site. There goes Crizzen. There goes position. There maybe goes the round as well.
I think you might be right there, James. Considering 2 players are low money, I'm not sure this is worth going for, but try and lock them in. See what you can do with it. Sanji's looking for anyone exploring further than the smoke, but I think the call has been made. Let Astralis have it. They open things up with an HE kill. Great timings. You're absolutely correct in saying that. The HE combo with the Molotovs down, they're timing it to perfection. They've got a good read on how Astralis like to counter the initial grenade bombardment, but that's 2 kills on the bounce now, thanks to the high explosive grenades. But Dupree, he had to make something happen there. He had to take a risk, and Apartments is one of those positions, especially the start of the round, won't necessarily be watched. If you've got an AWP towards quad, he'll focus on that. You've got a player at Archer. When they don't feel safe, they'll fall back and then worry about the Apartments, and he punished that fact, gets the initial kill, gets the AWP in the pit, and said to his teammates, it's time to rotate over. Here's the replay of the AGs. As you can see, DAY2 just takes both of them to the face, but that's the moment where Dupree takes matters into his own hands. This is the shot that won the round. Just like we said, slow game by his standards, but that was a great, impactful shot. And now the struggle begins. You can see the money starting to be whittled down. Crizzen just at the UMP. This is a significant round and indicative of who will be taking it. James will take not as much damage as I thought. Willing to challenge a bit further as well.
And it's one of those things where you got to be really careful the CT side, because if you consistently put 3 people at banana at this early timing of the rounds, again, you can see this A defense is just weakened. There's a timing on that A bomb site, but they're going to go for the challenges here. That's very brave, and I mean, it can be by design as well to try to convince the T's to come into the bomb site, but Astralis don't need to do that, and they're aware that it's the possibility that, hey, there's still probably that 3rd player still hanging out there at that timing of the round, so now they have a 5 versus 4, and they can just sit on that advantage for a while. Separate the CTs. Now they're 2 to a bomb site. They can isolate them with utility as well. They're actually deciding to group up Astralis and go towards B. And again, there's no way for Avangar to know that this is happening right now. There's no way for them to know. But they're gamble stacking. That's actually smart.
James moving back. 3 CTs here, but he doesn't have the angle in time. DAY2 takes him out. Surprising kill. Does Kiko at bait. Surely he'll be checked for regardless. And there it is. Nothing is given for free by Astralis. 5 versus 2, and that might be the round just there. Made even worse now by Magisk.
That one player at the back towards Emo, Kicker could have saved the round there, but it did require a mistake from Astralis, and they don't make many of them. Clean round, and as I mentioned, this is a very important one. That's actually going to knock Avangar down to an eco when they had a lot of momentum behind them. So around $2,000 per player. They don't have to force buy this one due to the fact they have loss bonus in their favor. $2,400 per player into the next round on top of the 3K they have in a few players right now. Might as well take the eco. A couple of them can get deagles. As Zeus for James, he actually uses that weapon more often than not. We casted him at the Ice Challenge in London about a month ago now. He was buying this on pretty much all of the recos to pretty decent effect as well. So we'll see if he can make it work. No.
Not quite the range.
You really can't.
Not this time. Hello.
It's crazy because it's the kind of game where you see some of the stuff Avangar were doing in that first half, and you feel like against most teams they're just going to run away with the game. But against Astralis, it's a very different story entirely as they take control once again. Nice little stack there, confusing Magisk completely. And they'll try to go for the gun, but they will be punished by device.
I wonder about headphones there.
Go on.
Because I mean, some players have difficulty with their hearing as well. I have no idea if Magisk is one of those guys, but I feel like with the sound updates that were made, once you got used to them, they're really, really good. So it's surprising sometimes, to me, like that he thinks it's maybe coming from behind him. But I guess people process the sound in different ways.
How do you process it?
I have pretty good directional sound.
I think
so. I generally have a good idea of where sound is coming from.
I've been wearing a headset for about 20 years straight, so my ears aren't great. So
I feel the same way. I actually feel like my hearing's not good.
Mine's pretty poor, and my eyes have started. I think it's more age than anything. My eyes have started to drop off as well.
It's okay.
Staring at a screen certainly.
You know what they say, Henry? You'll go blind.
Playing CS.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
I've an interesting podcast to listen to recently.
Go on.
That I'll share with you. That will give you hope.
That is a tease. You're not even going to tell me more than that.
Give us hope about what though?
About the fact that
the disease in bees.
You can have your vision and hearing restored.
Wow. Now I'm
not in my lifetime. Sanji has been deleted on the B bomb site, and that's a quick take from Astralis. Avangar on the wrong end of the choke points. Buster behind the smoke. He can go for a spray, but he could be punished, of course. Traces every third bullet. Okay, then. Of course he'll get a kill and survive, as Buster gets a kill as well. Sorry, Buster and his team, whoever it was. Moving up Banana now. Magisk will pop up from behind the wooden panels. Behind the MD there. Did he see the second player? He did, and it is surgical from Magisk.
Yeah, that was pretty beautiful, actually. He really is starting to wake up on the T side and have a huge round for Astralis to pick up to edge them in the lead now, 12-11. Buster, he's had a decent round. He got 2 kills, but not going to do much more. It will be Device to find him in the end. As Astralis get 4 rounds in a row. Like I said, they lost 4, but as soon as they get on the board and get a bit of money built up, they should be fine to close this out. As now Avangar, the 4th loss bonus, can't buy once again. But the CZs, some armor, maybe a little bit of utility on Inferno is a very scary prospect. Astralis cannot take this round lightly. Will they go for the B rush this time? Do they feel like they want to dance with the devil tonight, Dan? What do you think? I think they might be. They're going in.
Oh, that did nothing. Oh,
ouch.
Ouchie, ouch. Okay, well, it's not a bad start there from Astralis. Looking like they're going to keep themselves nice and safe from the pistols that lurk. When are you next going to be in the depths, James?
What?
When are you going to next be in the depths?
Oh, diving. I don't know. I do not know.
You said not in my lifetime. What's your prediction on your lifespan, James?
Well, I don't think what you're talking about is going to happen in the next 20 years.
Based on what? Just your professional opinion.
Absolutely,
about science.
Yeah.
So you're not going to live
bringing people's vision back. It takes a long time to make progress with things like that. so I don't think so. It takes
I'll
long
have to
enough
link
just
you
for
the podcast as well.
it takes long enough just for trials for things. And that's like a 5 to 10 year process.
Yeah, yeah. Some of that stuff is actually going into the, what was it, stage 3 or stage 4, where they do the FDA trials on humans, like to get the FDA approved. It's like last stage, I think, in making something FDA approved. So,
We done with that now? Or
yeah. Oh my god.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Podcasts and
Podcast
Yeah,
and is all the information I have right now.
Yeah, I know exactly. There's not much information going around. Really, it's just,
that is it. So I can't really join in on this
words
debate.
Flying around. Nothing really means anything. Much like this round for Avangar. They'll be down 11 to the 13 of Astralis now. They're edging closer and closer to taking this one over the line. A scary series for Astralis. Actually, I say that, but again, it's, as you know, we know Astralis are the comeback team. Doesn't matter what hardships they face. They have this crazy resilience that no other teams really seem to have consistently, where they just, like that variance that exists within Counter-Strike, Astralis aren't that affected by it compared to everybody else. And that is incredible. Gotta respect it. One of the last best chances for Avangar to bring themselves back into fighting contention in this round. Or finding contention for this, the map, that is, I should say. And already, Astralis looking like they want to burst that balcony.
Wow. Great trades coming through. Prison will take the advantage for now. It's still a player in the pip. Beautiful setup here. Another ding comes through. That should be the round in itself. Unless Glaive can pull off some absolute heroics here. Jumps on the hay bales, but it looks like he has been rumbled. 2 HP for Device as he tries to take anyone down with his sinking ship. 13-12, guaranteed now. So how much damage can he cause? He will be checking towards the underpass and indeed towards the left of the barrel. Great shot, Buster. Really feeling that one. There's a smoke, or I should say a Molotov and a flashbang available against the 3 Orgs. One more kill. I think he'd consider this a success as he heads towards Boiler. 40 seconds remaining. CTs don't have to challenge at all. Make him pick up the bomb. Should be... That's not bad. The Bati gets 3 kills, I think, in total there, or 2. He's made the round expensive, and they've got to have a nice, strong full buy here. Zipex with just under 16k, the absolute maximum he can have in CSGO. They win this. I dare say that's GG, because the reinvestment required now from Avangar is going to take most of them down to 0. We'll have a look. 50-50 on James and Crizzen, and about the same for Buster and Santu. They have to win this round. If they don't, 14-12, force buy, that would be it. This really does decide the outcome in this game.
Absolutely. Kika opens it up, though. Takes down Glaive. The trade is there with the Molotov, though. Buster caught on a jump. He's had a great half so far, but that is a very sad end for him. Device taking liberties here. Not a great smoke, but gets past anyway. Nice nade damage coming in, but look at the response here from Avangar. Rightly so, they are very afraid of the B-take.
Yeah, well, they have no intel there now. They know Device has crossed over. With the smoke down in that gap, they can at least assume it might be a fake at this stage, but there is another smoke for Astralis to throw. Device will be focusing towards the ruins here as James makes his way. Sandy's done for, though. Great positioning from Device. What a great round from him. That's bomb down, and as we said, must win from Avangar. If it's not going to be a victory, they at least need to save the AWP to give them a fighting chance in the next round.
Zipex is already closing the net in terms of places Avangar can save these weapons. They've chosen to give up on this particular round, but indeed, the monster lurks. The minister, should I say. He's got his robes on. He's about to open his book.
Oh, God. I do like that name.
Take the sermon by force.
Well, there he is.
Preach! Zipex, preach! Bring me closer to Jesus.
We've gone on a bit of a journey there. The minister getting it done as he lays down the gauntlet. No wall will be saved. The AK will, and as you can see, this is why it was such an important round. Astralis in touching distance now, closing out the series, and there's no money. Just that saved AK, they pretty much have to buy this, just the fact they have the AK there, and need to avoid series point. So, AK will be in the hands of, we'll find out momentarily, Kikurtz, their star rifler. As Crizzen has really impressed me with his AK work. Buster, 22 frags. Do or die time for them. Is there anything that can be done?
if you're looking at you know, Astralis names with that setup with the CT side, you think that they have a strong chance here. I would hope to see that. Avangar have been studying that. I think Astralis really wrote the book when it comes to playing from behind on the CT side of Inferno, but that is a nasty shot from DAY2. He's having a hell of a game. 28 kills so far for him. And now fast take of top mid from Astralis. Developing their map control quite rapidly here. Peeking the smoke there. Chrism will have him.
Yeah, it's not one slave.
Oh no, that's not good, is it? DAY2 going in for more there. He's hungry. And all of a sudden, just like that, bomb is stuck at T-spawn. They have to go back and get it. Dupree's on a mission, on a journey. What? And Sanji with the white peak gets it done. Now up to the Clutch Minister to close things down.
This has been clumsy from Astralis. I'm not sure why they're operating in this manner, but Zipex makes his way towards B. Lots of smoke pushes against pistols and actually giving the CTs a fighting chance. But yes, indeed, it is going to be Zipex who has a massive advantage here. It's AK versus AK, and there is a kit for Sanji, but the bomb down, there's a massive transitional period for him to go through spawn and make his way there. This is going to cost him 15 seconds or so. As he comes through, Zipex will be able to hear a lot of sound cues coming in. He's a great spot, but Sanji's been pretty decent at fragging. Will he check on top of the sandbags? He's ready, and he gets it. Astralis, I honestly deserve to lose that round. They seemed like they were just overcommitting, jumping through the smokes, and well done to Avangar for punishing it.
Yeah, Sanji was definitely hitting very well that round. So lethal with the AK that he picked up. DAY2 just wanted to get it over with for sure. Open things up with a 2K. Look at that peak. That is just clean. Clean as you like.
Yeah, good positioning from Zipex. Just a very good shot from Sanji. Enjoyed that. Not out of the woods just yet, though. 14-13. Giving themselves another lifeline. They got the AWP as well. Looking to take us to a third.
Three players around the smoke at the bottom for Astralis. Looking to have a butcher's hook. Kick it holding the headshot position towards the logs, but taken out from the front by Magisk. And that just might be it, but Sanji's on the B bomb site as well. Only with a UMP, however.
He needs 2 kills, James.
He does. He's got to have 2 at the very least. And I think, oh boy, I could see on the radar it was almost a spot of the bomb being rotated from the bottom of the ramp. How long will he be able to survive for? There's a flashbang. There's 1 kill. No one else is there, creating some space now.
Wow.
Trying to buy time for the rotation, and it's coming in towards CT spawn, but moves a little too forward away from the barrels. There could have been some support flashes there, but they come too late. Magisk is alive, and he is killing players, leaving it down to James 1 versus 3 with the AWP. There's a chance for a 1v1. He's kind of at a point of no return. Too late to save. Unless he smokes off CT himself. There is the hunt, just about spotting the player there. Do you continue to press on? It's containment now. What is the plan here?
He can't save the AWP. He's got to fight his way out of this hole. He'll sit in the ruins for now. No utility. The bomb is going off. The round is guaranteed. Astralis will find series point. And they're so worried that James is going to hit every single shot. It is characteristic for him, but surely he'll be taken down as well. Everyone will die in the blast. As it does go 15-13. That is absolute financial ruin now for Avangar. 1,400 each. Mages, they had to work really hard for this round. That was not easy. Even at this point, it felt like it could fall apart. Mages hit every single shot required. Gets himself up to 14 kills, and it's CZs and Deagles. But still, trust me, this could actually go to overtime. We'll see what happens here. What have they got up their sleeve? What is the call? Great attempts here from Avangar, but Astralis just won't be toppled.
So that could be a good nade. No, actually they avoid the position. Avangar have been putting up a fantastic fight so far against Astralis on maps in which they're very good. And I think most notably for me, from Avangar's perspective in the first map, I was really impressed by their approach, their coordination, their calling, their discipline. In this map, I've been impressed by some of their shooting ability, actually. They've had some incredible individual rounds, and that's really what has stood out to me. But they have to finish it off, and in such trying circumstances, never easy. See the smoke toss towards Arch as D3 will spot Sanji, but somehow doesn't get the kill there. Some damage exchange. The pistols now out in force, and they have the bomb at top mid. If they win this fight against Zipex, or hold him off, hold him at base somehow, collect guns, Astralis are in some deep trouble, but Zipex knows that he'll go grab the bomb quickly to prevent that from getting locked down by the CTs, and they'll fall back towards B. It's the only option they have at this point. Device is the front man. He's got to make this entry work.
He's been keeping the choke points open. In the meantime, now the cavalry start to move in. Buster moving back, using the numbers advantage of the team rather than trying to have a heroic effort himself. Maybe he'll get some spray in as time continues to tick. There is enough cover though, but we'll have the shots through the coffin. No one dead just yet, no retake grenades, but a defuse kit for Avangar. Kika still on the A bomb site for now. He has a long way to go, but he'll pick up an AK on the way. He needs to get there as fast as possible, but Magisk is waiting. Ooh, he's been spotted now, Magisk in the red. That is trouble, but Sanji's been taken out in the meantime. Vanguard got to go for this. Completely blind. Kika gets the kill, but now it's Kika alone. He's got to pick up the defuse kit and find 2 kills in a crossfire for Astralis against match point. And surely this is just taking too long now. They're not giving him any shots, any entries in. And I think the round and the game and the match are all done now. Astralis moving towards 16. GG's in the chat. Kika looking for stats. And that's a wrap.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Astralis will take the first week semi-final. That does mean they are going to be the grand final now, Dan. They've made it all the way through, and they could be our first successful team to book themselves a place in London. They've got one more game to go. I have to say, Avangar put up a great fight there. We know they're a skilled team. It was a little bit lackluster at points, but the rounds they were winning, especially on the T side of Inferno, they were impressive. They knew what they were doing in the mid-round calls, and the shots they were hitting were pretty remarkable. I was impressed.
Yeah, and Avangar, again, they played brilliantly here. They showed the full spectrum of what they're capable of. On that, again, to reiterate what I was saying previously, on the first map, we saw great calling, great map understanding, just a beautiful approach on that T side where they just understood how to manage complex rounds. Here we saw the individual ability really flare up as well, and that's what really started to shine. So I feel like they got to be making it through one of these weeks.
I think you might be right. From what I've seen right here, I feel like they're a team I want to see at the finals at least. I want to see what they can do on LAN again. A bit more time and some experience from the major as well. They certainly turn some heads. They're getting better and better every time I see them. It's a great little team. And Astralis did not win that comfortably. That was not a victory for them they'll feel super happy about. Sure, they got the 2-0, but they had to work super hard for it. That was a great game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think in some rounds, Avangar were their toughest opponent, and that is Avangar were Avangar's toughest opponent. And I think that's a good thing for them, because those are, I think it's at a point where they are fixable, and that will be the difference between winning and losing series. So that was very promising from them. And I think some of the time, if you run this through, this is the type of team who will beat Astralis in a best of 3. Not every best of 3, but some of them.
Well, we can have a look at the bracket now and see where that leaves us overall. As I said, it's the first team of this week. I guess I should reiterate how this all works. This is the week 1 bracket. We're going to take one team from this bracket each week who will book themselves a place in the finals in London. And you can see Astralis are waiting to play the winner of NIP and FaZe. All of these teams can qualify at another time. Even if you lost in the first round, you can come back in the following week and try your luck once again. But Astralis right now waiting to play either NIP or FaZe to work out who will be the first team booked in the finals. And at that point, they have no more online obligations in the ECS League. They will be ready to play at the final. And that's a really tantalizing prospect. NIP FaZe is going to be a great game, and that should be a fantastic final. Really does build up a great storyline each week for great games at the end of it. It's really cool. There we go.
I'm very much looking forward to NIP FaZe tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's just because both teams have so much skill.
Yeah.
So you're going to get like this crazy just
and with FaZe
fight.
Like a little bit up and down tactically as well. That's going to be a great clash, I think. Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be bringing that action tomorrow. That's it for the European sector. We do have a North American broadcast coming up shortly. But first, we'll have a look at the social media. You can get involved in a multitude of different ways here at ECS. You can use Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the hashtag ECS7. Got the website there available as well, where you can purchase tickets. We have got some finals coming up in the beautiful city of London. You can see the 8th and 9th of June in the iconic SSC Arena in Wembley. We've done a few events now, and it's absolutely epic every single time. It's a lot of fun, and world-class Counter-Strike will be played, and the crowd is pretty remarkable there as well. We might not have the most amount of players in the UK. We've got great crowds.
Fantastic crowd. Yeah, definitely.
Do you like them, Dan? Do you have a good time when you're there?
They're great.
They're great. They're
Bunch
great.
of guys.
They're great. You guys are great. You should be there. Book your tickets now. There's an early bird special going on. And for now, that does wrap up the EU broadcast. I think we'll be back in about 30 minutes, I think, just under that.
Right.
I think so.
Just under 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
either way, there'll be some cool music and stuff, and we'll be back with all the fun and North American Counter-Strike in a little bit.